Hello all, Havoc here. Let's get ready to play some Space Engineers. Okay, so in this episode we are going to look at some more design possibilities. So in last video, this is taking so long. Why? Because we added all the mods in. So all the mods we have installed on our Let's Play series are now in here. So we can screw around quite a bit more. So let's go back in there. New large ship. And actually, no, we're going to make it a station. Because it's easier to start from. New station. And we're actually going to start a little higher up too. So like that. So, alright, we're going to do something like that. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Alright, so that looks pretty cool. I like it. So what we're looking at doing is doing a VTOL setup instead of wheels. So VTOL, for those who don't know, it stands for vertical takeoff or landing. Vertical takeoff orientation for landing or something like that. Basically, it's what allows things like the Harrier jump jet to take straight up and then fly off at a horizontal angle. Transition from vertical flight to horizontal flight. In theory, I'm not sure by full description, but I think things like helicopters are VTOL, based on the premise that they take off vertical and they land, or you know, they can land and fly in any orientation. So, there was a lot of comments in the last episode again, and I'm really enjoying this, guys. It's really fantastic. Leave the comments in there. You know, don't forget to hit the like button. That always helps too. Yeah, the comments are fantastic, and I'm really enjoying these. So just want to keep that going, especially because several of you guys' comment sparks just really simplistic. Just, you know, it's like, oh, are you sure you want to do this? How about this? You know, just simple. A what if can completely change the entire premise of where we're going with things. So although them being completely and totally glitchy, we're going to use some pistons. The reason is because by using a piston, we're going to be able to pull off some pretty cool stuff. They're not going to be as reliable or relied upon as they would be if they were in some kind of structure or something. They're pretty much just going to be landing pads. So this is going to be okay. So I'm thinking if we did something like this, and we use our cool mag pads on the bottom of those. These guys right here. Wait, these are the live ship version, right? I think so. Yeah, that's the right one. So we use something like this on here. Like that. I think that's pretty awesome. So then when we come to dock, we lower these down. And concentrating on trying to get it on there, sorry guys. Get these lowered down and put in place. And they're, you know, we'll be able to put them wherever we need to. But they'll extend quite a bit. So if we're on really uneven terrain, we will be able to accommodate for that. So that will be pretty cool. So the other thing too is you know, how do you go about flying this monstrosity, right? So in one of my other Let's Play series on the Space Tinker server, I played around with the ship that rotated. So it had a series of grinders on one end and a series of welders on the other end, and a cockpit in the middle. And instead of climbing out of one cockpit and going to the other end, I just had the whole assembly rotate. So we could do something similar like that on this as well. Have a ton of thrusters and stuff on here, and as the cockpit changes orientation, so does the thrust. So if the cockpit's facing this direction, well, this is now forward. It's facing that direction, that's now forward. So if we're in a situation where we want to land and have this be the front, then so be it, we can. So that's something we could do as well. One of the other things we're definitely going to have to do is we're going to need to put, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you guys go in. We're going to need a ramp. So the biggest thing about rotors, here I'm using all these sketchy things that I've avoided the entire series. The thing about rotors is if you use a couple of them in tandem together, they're fine. You just cannot just use just one. The same thing actually goes with pistons. If we use multiple pistons at the same exact time connected to the same structure, everything's fine. So what we're going to need to do is connect these two, because these are now, those rotor pieces are now different ships, not even stations. So actually we don't need that, we need to go here. So what you're going to end up needing is a merge block, which is nowhere to be found except for right there on our tooltip. Alright, so what you end up doing is, that's not going to work because it collides with this, right? Yeah, see, it collides. It wants to join that to that. So if we do this, we come in here and we'll use a blast door block, which is smaller. So we can rotate. Alright, so let's just get rid of that for now. And we'll come back to adding this back in. Once, actually this can't be that, this has to be a blast door. Specifically because of the reason I just said. Except for we need this to rotate a different direction. Because we need to be able to do that, and it's not working that way. Alright, so it'll work this way. So that's how we'll use our door. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to be able to merge these two blocks together. Okay, so out of nowhere, my software stopped recording. That's pretty awesome. I like it when that happens. So, alright, so what we're doing is we're going to try to merge these up. And to do this, I've never done this cleanly, so just bear with me, guys. Alright, so what I'm just going to do is this. So this comes like this. We're going to take this row back out, and we're going to take this row back out. Maybe? There we go. Alright, cool. So then we'll throw the merge block on here, facing the correct direction. Facing the correct direction. So normally what I do is actually this. So this is direct interference. That's where we want that to go, but it can't because it has that interference fit. So what we're going to do is go and put... Do these have controls on them? I think advanced do. Or not. Okay, so we'll put a button on that real quick. One of these. Alright, so we're going to make... I think it's this one. We're going to move it... to 15 degrees. Actually, we're going to set this to 0. Alright, so it's bouncing a little bit, that's fine. And so I'm sure there's some of you that are probably watching this going, there's just so much easier way to do this, Havoc. Okay, so they're bouncing into each other right now, so what I'm going to do is come back over here and change the displacement. To be less on both of them, actually. And by doing this, it will allow for the two of them to fit past each other, and they should start to should be able to merge now. So if I send them both to 0, so advance rotor 1, leave your velocity at that. This will be 0. This will be 15. So they're the same. Possibly the same. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 0.1. Thank you. Torque is max. Braking is at 0. Alright, let's make it 1. Alright, let's get them both to go to 0. They don't want to move. I slam into you. Alright. I'm trying here, guys. So advance rotors rotate the other direction. Let's give it some more velocity. Doesn't want to move. Oh, you know what? I'm a dork. How many of you yelling at the screen right now? Havoc, you don't have power. I'm sure half a dozen of you are just like... both of you are yelling at the screen. Oh, man, just such a dunce sometimes. Just derp. Okay. So how close is that? That's pretty darn close. Alright, that's cool. So now... we get the other one to go to... yeah, it's this one, right? That's at 0. Cool. So this one, we turn the block on. Go to negative 15, that's fine. We'll take it to 0. So now they're really close. They really, really, really would love to lock right now. So now we just come over to one of these and extend the displacement. So we're going to go to negative 3. And we saw it move a little bit. Take it to negative 2. Moved a little bit more. Let's take the other one to negative 2 instead. Did they merge? Looks like they did. So if they did, then we should be able to come over here, click this block. It's now one solid piece. So now the rotors are going to be extremely stable. So if we turn around, we'll go ahead and turn one off, I think. I think that works. Let's take your torque, your brake, and turn those all the way off. Come back over here. Your torque and brake all the way up. So that went to negative 15. I think it's this one's limits is what's stopping it. Can we put this back to unlimited? Guess not. So with a little bit of finagling, you can now control the rotors to be a little bit more responsive. And so they're a lot more stable now. Extremely stable. And so you're actually able to use them the way you intended to originally when you started using rotors. This is where things should have went. So then there we go. We close up the gap. There won't be any collision when these two rotate. And if there is, they're so much more durable that it'll work. So now we have a massive ramp. Let's see if we can get this thing to go to a vertical position. So we want rotor 1. Two, 0. Reverse. There we go. So there's our closed door. So in theory, we'd be able to just close this off. I don't think it'll build to, yeah, it won't build to it because of it being a different vessel. So yeah, we just can literally build, I mean, this is the epitome of an ice cream sandwich just waiting to happen right here. So the structure obviously does not need to be nowhere near this big as far as height-wise. So I would probably build something about here in height. I think it's a little bit more respectable. So another cool thing we could do as well is we could do this, and then I could have swore they were on the first. Oh, they are. They're right there. We can use these. So actually, scratch that. I'd want to make that one higher. So if we went like this, that, like this. All right. Come down here. Rotor 1, reverse direction. Maybe. Or not. I think I screwed up by putting his limits at 0 both directions. So, okay. Bummer. I screwed it up. And then I screwed it up. Oh, wow. Dun, 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 dun. So as that flies off into oblivion, we'll delete that. Maybe. Delete. Bye-bye. So, in theory, what would have happened is it would have rotated down, and then we would have extended out the hangar door to give us an actual usable ramp. But alas, since I broke it, and this is why we can't have nice things, right? Since I broke it, that doesn't really work too well. So yeah, in theory, that would have just rotated down and would have given us a nice little ramp to get in and out. In theory, we could do the similar tactic as a door as well. It won't be airtight because we'll have all the gaps around the sides and whatnot. But we could definitely build a door that could have been like this right here is where the rotation would have went. It was right to this. So if we go like this, get rid of all this garbage here. Let's see, let's get us a rotor. Put a rotor down. And then in theory, had done this. For our door. At least for the ramp portion of it. I mean, it'll still serve as a ramp and it'll still serve as a door when it's in the upright position, but it won't be airtight. I mean, it could possibly be, I guess if you did stuff like this, maybe. And it's colliding with that, so what we can do is so you play around with this, you could retract this up to the point where it would work. So no, over here, thank you. So a door like that. You know, it'd be so much nicer if we had planets and I could be building this for real. So we come down here, click on our hangar doors, airtight hangar doors. So they all extend out like so. So that's pretty cool. And then we could rotate the advanced rotor. So velocity of, let's give it a velocity of 1. It collided with that block there. I'm not doing very well with these rotors today, am I? Okay, so well, that just worked flawlessly. Flawlessly at tearing itself apart. So, alright, so we're going to wrap up the episode today. Let me know what you guys think about where we're going with this, about with the VTOL craft versus the wheeled craft. That seemed to be the common, I want to say denominator, but not really, because you guys weren't really too divided on that. So, but yeah, it definitely seems like that's going to be the route we're going to take. Is we're going to use the VTOL setup and I think it's going to allow us for greater flexibility, far and away, because we're going to be able to do so much more with the crafts with vertical takeoff versus a standard wheeled craft. And then we can use smaller wheeled craft to go around and do what we want to do. Oh, one of the viewers, one of you guys, I think it was Matthew Ritchie, was talking about for lack of a better term, a grader. And definitely going to be building something like that here because we're going to want flat terrain to build our bases on. This is pretty damn flat right here. I don't think we can actually get flatter than this. But we're going to have some bumps like this guy right here. And to try to do that with our drill, our hand drill, it's going to be next to impossible. So to have a grader, something that we can actually smooth across a large area without having to use our hand drill to get the terrain as flat as possible. You can see we have a rise right here. Stuff like that, stuff like this. So that's something I think we'll work on that in the next episode. We'll actually get a working concept together, not just derp around like this. And we'll try to get some area leveled out and collected. We'll see about collecting some ore with it as well, because we got a lot of iron and whatnot around us. Let's try to harvest some water with the grader. So in theory, the advantage to having a grader would be it would be a small enough device or a flexible enough device, like it would fold open or something like that, and we'd be able to use it and then go put it back. It's not something we'd have to. Probably would do it on the drone basis, kind of like how we have the bat drone and stuff. How we're just gonna bail them when we need them, and then when we don't need them, just destroy them. So, all right. So keep an eye out for that. Also on the live stream front, personal life's really busy. You know, warmer weather's coming up and out having a good time. But next week I should be back to my normal routine. So look for some new video content coming out, and also going to start doing more live streaming over the next week. So there'll be some Twitch streams and stuff like that. And so keep an eye out for that as well. So cool. This is Havoc. Have fun. Keep gaming.